And I'm going to take this off so you can hear me better. I wanted to go through some of the things that we've noticed with some of the patients that we're seeing now, some of the common misconceptions that people are having about wearing these masks, and and kind of go through three major points about these masks, and hopefully we can kind of clear up some of the misconceptions that are out there. The first and probably most important thing is, and I'm talking about to public. We're not talking about frontline workers here. So let's just make that clear. So if you're dealing directly with COVID patients, this is not at all for you. You know what you're doing with your N95s, and you've got all your PPE. But for us in the public who are not directly dealing with COVID patients, these masks that we're wearing are not for your protection. That's that's the major point that I want to come across. There's all these vendors and providers out there that are making these really awesome masks, and and a lot of them have these built-in filters and all these crazy fancy things, and they're talking about filtration rates, trying to get these at-home masks to get to like N99 or N95 levels. And the reality is, unless you're dealing with someone who's actively sick, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It's first off, it's really hard to breathe through an N95, definitely an N99 mask. So if you're dealing with some of these homemade things, really the major point I want to stress is this is not for your protection. This is for the people that are around you. So when you're in public and you're in group settings and you're outside and you're not able to socially distance to 6 feet, the major thing that this does, this stops my breath and my droplets from being able to travel as far. That is the major thing that this thing does. It doesn't stop me from being able to breathe in coronavirus or any other thing for really that matter. That's why our health workers who are on the front line need the N95s and N99s, because if they're dealing with someone who's positive and in with COVID, and they're doing a procedure where that person may cough or sneeze, or they may produce aerosols, that's where you need the N95, N99s in order to protect yourself. All right. For us in the public, we're not dealing directly with that. That doesn't make sense. This is for everyone else's protection. So if we are all wearing masks, we're limiting how much droplets we're at, or how at least the distance that our droplets are being able to go. Okay. So that's the first major point. The second major point is, when you're dealing with these masks, particularly ones that are not disposable, you need to be washing them. All right. I want you to wash these things like they're your undies, or even more so, because really this is on your face. You're breathing in and out of this. It's collecting and concentrating your germs, as well as collecting and concentrating everything that you're breathing in. So if you're outdoors, hopefully you are on a day like today, it's collecting all the allergens, it's collecting all the bacteria and the viruses and everything else that's normally in the air that we all breathe in regularly, and it's concentrating it into this. So particularly if you're taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it back on, and they're drying and then they're remoisturizing, you want to make sure that this thing gets washed. Okay, so that's the second major point. The third and last major point is, you really should only be wearing a mask when it makes sense. Okay, if you're driving alone in your car, if you're out in the open and there's nowhere to be seen, you really shouldn't be actively wearing the mask on your face. Okay, if you're wearing it, you can have it down here, something like that, so you can still breathe in the fresh air. You can still get exchange of, again, all those bacteria and the viruses that we normally breathe in, that helps our immune system, which we'll get to in a second. We want to make sure that you're getting that fresh air in. You're breathing in the air of your house all day long. You need to be able to get outside and breathe in some fresh air. So when you can, remove the mask. Obviously, if you're outdoors and you're passing someone on the sidewalk or whatever else, again, you're putting this back on. This is for their protection. So people that are walking around in public with no mask and no mask to be seen, it's not about them protecting themselves, and they don't want to protect themselves. Honestly, they're not really understanding what that's about. So when I wear a mask outside of here, I'm wearing this for other people's protection, other people's comfort. Okay. So with these masks and with this constant filtration, we're sanitizing the whole inside of our houses, and we're living in this bubble, realize that the more you get yourself exposed to normal antigens, normal bacteria, viruses, allergens in the air, the less of a huge effect this will have when they start to lift some of these restraints and some of these not restraints, but some of they lift some of the restrictions on businesses and things like that. Things start to return back to normal. The big problem that we're going to have is that everyone's been so sanitized, everyone's been living in such a bubble, that when we start to actually coexist in each other's company a little bit more, what's going to end up happening is a lot of people are going to end up getting sick because they've been so repressed. Their immune system has not had a chance to really been revved up, and that's really how our immune system stays healthy, right? So definitely don't wear your mask when you don't need to, when it doesn't make sense to. And obviously make sure you're washing it, and just understand that, again, what is the purpose behind this mask? It is for everyone else's protection. So it's not for your protection. So you don't need to go out and spend, $40, $50 on some kind of a crazy reusable mask with crazy HEPA filters and everything else. Not unless you're going to a place that is a high risk place with aerosols and droplets in the air from people that are in fact positive with COVID. So thought this was hopefully a good topic to bring up to the public, since we are noticing so many people who are kind of have the wrong idea about these masks. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Wanted to get this video in before our afternoon patients start coming through. We are open. We are seeing patients in person as well as virtually for consultations and such. So if you have any questions about any of that, start to take care of yourself, guys. All right, please get out there, get active. Don't wait for these things to be lifted to start becoming active again. It's going to be a disaster. So take care of yourself, and I hope to see everyone in the office soon that needs help. And hopefully you guys are having a great day. Take care.